Is anybody still out there?
Yeah, yes, everybody.
Sure, we're still here.
Good.
Daniel,
Okay.
one quick question from somebody they just sent in maybe before your battery dies. How do you handle the sunlight thing, as it's totally an indoor setup and the sunlight is a basic requirement for them?
No, there's, as I told you, there are big windows. Wait, there's one big window. There's another big window. Now it's night in Switzerland. It's dark, and here I can completely. I have everything under control. That's the heating system here, and I just it goes down automatically. And in the morning here upstairs, the light comes in as well. But as I told you at the beginning, those windows are open during daytime in summer. And so
the natural light when those windows are open.
Exactly. And I'm sure that natural light and I can show you some baby birds before the battery goes up.
While you're doing that, Daniel, just in case the battery dies, I'm getting a lot of personal messages, and also I see some on the chat where it's because of time in their countries. A few people have had to leave, but they've asked me to pass on your thanks to you and also to Tanya for organizing everything. I think it's been great.
Good. I hope you could learn a little bit something. I didn't check the time. I'm surprised it's almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, we have to come to an end because here the lights will switch off. Just a few babies from the baby flight. These are the youngest ones, just a few weeks old. This is going to be nice Lutino. Any more questions?
Please tell us, what do you think about French molt and about long tails?
Okay. These are both 2 points that I wanted to talk about, but I forgot somehow. We start with French molt. French molt is a virus that I think every series breeders know how it is, and it's nothing nice. At the moment, I have nothing, but I expect that in a few weeks I will get the first French molters, and that's for me a sign to stop breeding, because when you have French molt, something in your stud is not doing the perfect way, and it's a virus. You can't fight the virus. You can protect your birds in a certain way. You have to make that. You have to be sure that their immune system is on the best level, and if the immune system is on a good level, they should be strong enough to fight the virus. But that's easily said. I think when you got French molt, the best thing is to stop breeding, make a break, and clean everything properly, and then start breeding again in a few months. I think that's more or less the only thing you can do. I mean, most people, they're afraid to talk about French molt, but I think more or less all people, they have it. If people say, I never have French molt, I don't know. I think they're not serious breeders, or they simply lie.
I
because
think you have to watch other things they say too, because I can remember when I was very young and living in Australia, and in times of drought, the budgies would come from an area called the Mallee, and they would nest in trees and places close to our house. And even in the wild, you would have French molders.
I know.
And
That
the
was,
birds,
yeah.
they didn't last long because we used to call them runners, because they would drop to the ground and run around, and soon the predators would get them fast, the snakes and the dogs and things like that.
Natural selection.
Yep, exactly.
But I can show you I have a few birds in a breeding place at the moment. They used to be French molter, and when they gone through the molt once, when they fight against the virus, also if they do not become complete, you can breed super birds from them. I had some years ago when I changed my house. That was in 2011, and everything was new, and but all of a sudden I had lots of French molt, and I had no idea why. And so the year after, I was forced to breed French molt to French molt. And what shall I say? It's a strange thing. You can get perfectly youngsters from French molt to French molt. And yeah, of course, I don't like it either. But most people around here, they're killing the birds immediately. And that's for me complete nonsense. I'm sure that French molt birds, it's not a genetic thing. It's a virus. And the virus, yeah, you have to handle carefully. But when you're gone over, you can get super youngsters from them. Okay, that was one question. The other question was about, oh, I have to close here. You can see that the birds are, now the light stopped and the night light goes on. You see they start going off. It's time for us to stop slowly. And the battery is off. You see now in the middle, the light is not on anymore. So slowly, the birds know that it's time to sleep. I'll show you a few more baby birds in that flight, and then we go back, we say goodbye. Your question was about French molt, no, about longtails. As I mentioned at the beginning, I don't like I don't like longtails, I don't like long flights, but you don't see them at the moment at my place, but I know exactly that I have them everywhere in my background, and a certain amount of birds, they will show that feature again. And there's no sense, in my opinion, not to work with them. I work with them, or I used to work with them. When you like the birds I have nowadays, you have to know that most of them, almost all of them, have in the background a certain percentage of long tails, long flights. I got this gene from Pat the Deer from South Africa, and also some from Reinhard Volkertin, from a Lutino cock I got from him. And these birds had a massive impact on my birds. But you have to care them, you have to handle it carefully. And when you're a good breeder, you should be able to handle it. It's like picked birds, or it's a fault for sure. But when you're able to handle it in a good way, you can make your birds, you can put your birds on a higher level for sure. But again, you have to handle it carefully, and when you have to make selection. Never put long tail to long tail. You might end up with some ugly birds. And but if you pair a long tail bird to a stylish short feather bird, you can breed wonderful birds. And all my mutation birds, that means clearwings, rainbows, dilutes or whatever, I paired them up with, I bred them together with longtails, and I wouldn't have the quality I have nowadays. Also in the recessives, there were longtails. And yeah, you need a certain amount of longtails in your stud, but not too many. But I don't know any top stud in the world that have no longtails. And I know a lot of studs that have too many longtails. That's no good. The birds are not, they cannot fly properly. They don't breed well anymore. My birds, if you compare my birds nowadays with the birds I had some years ago, they are much smaller now. Well, not much smaller, but now I have to say it differently. My birds that I have nowadays, they are shorter feathered. They're a little bit smaller, but they're mainly much shorter feathered. And that's because I wanted to make them shorter feathered. My kids were complaining that my birds can't fly properly anymore, and that was true. And there's no point to breed birds that cannot fly. And that's why I mean, you are, as a breeder, you are the master, and with the selection you make, you can say in which direction you want to go. And if you always keep the youngsters with the best spots, with round spots, you don't look on anything else. You just keep the birds with the best round spots. In a few seasons, let's say in 5 seasons, you will see a lot of birds with good round spots. And if you only keep birds with long tails, and you will end up with a shed full of birds with long tails. What's not, well, I think it cannot be the goal. In the internet, there are many breeders that just put, I call them internet breeders. They put birds on Facebook, and you always just see the face. You don't see the complete birds. You don't see the wings, you don't see the tails. And they say showing is not good. And that's very dangerous and no good direction. We need shows. At the moment it's difficult because of COVID, of course. But on the shows, you have a natural, not a natural, you have a judge, and most judges are doing a good job, some better, some worse. But normally from 10 judges, 7 or 8 are doing a good job. And they are saying this bird is too much and this bird is not good enough, and they give a direction. And in the internet, where everybody can put their birds off, you don't you have no regulation. And especially beginners, they say, wow, super bird, mashallah, mashallah, and that's nonsense, because to judge a bird, you need to see the complete bird, inclusive wings and tails, and the position of the wings. Many of those birds, I know from people, from certain breeders, they put birds on, they always look outstanding, but most of these birds have no tails. And yeah, a bird with no tail, you can breed with it, but it's not a really good bird. A super bird must have a tail. If he's not complete, he's not a super bird. Could you follow me?
Yeah. Yes, thank you, yes.
Okay, I think we have to come. We have to come to an end. I think you, saw some birds. That one will become a super bird, but he was attacked by his mother, and now he looks shit. I'm not sure whether the bird feathers are coming back completely, but no matter how he looks like, I will keep him for sure, because he was outstanding. You see now the light is still on, but the birds are getting silent, because I guess now it's about 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And that's very fascinating. You see, the light is still on. I put it on. I can make it automatically, or I can put it manual. And now the light is still on, but it's 10 o'clock, and the bird, that's what I think that's extremely fascinating. They have an inner clock. They know now it's 10 o'clock. The light is still on, but actually now it's time to sleep. That's a good end, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
I want to quickly have a look downstairs, whether the light is on. Whether good. Yeah, you see now, here it's night here downstairs. I just want to show you now all the birds. There are no birds downstairs anymore. You see, they're now all on the perch. Now actually you could see the birds much better. The birds down here, where they sit on the perch. But we don't start, we do not start now again. I just want to show you that, you see, the birds now, before they were sitting below, now they're all sitting on the perches. They like to sit on the wheel. And well, they're now, I don't want to disturb them anymore. I have to find a place. You see also here, there are no birds, or almost no birds anymore on the floor. They all go up. Now actually you could see them properly, but it's too late now. And I want to turn off the, you see, these are baby birds that they will change their look completely. And in a few weeks, a few months, they will look like the birds that you've seen before. It's amazing how birds change after the molt. Okay, quickly check whether everything is okay. That's my best light stream. You couldn't see him before. Okay, now we turn off the light. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Good. If you have some questions or some comment, you can write me on my web address, or you can write questions to Bob, Tanya, or Liliana. And as I told you before, many questions you can answer easily by reading the articles on my homepage. And yeah, we speak another time. Good. It's time to sleep, and in a few minutes they will be done. You see now it's only the night light.